Hi, Kate. Good morning to you, and good morning, folks out there. We hope you're up and at 'em and having a great day and enjoying this sunshine. We've lucky enough to have with us today the Mr. Gary Farley, the Contract Inspector Services Director out of the Davy Crockett Building up in Nashville, Tennessee, down here representing the state on contract inspections. We wanted to talk about the new building permits that we have in Lincoln County. As far as if you build a new home now, you need to have a building permit, and we're going to talk about those things here over the next few minutes. Mr. Gary, good to have you with us.
Glad to be here, Tommy.
And how's everything? You came down from Murfreesboro, Tennessee this morning, where you live.
Yeah, I live in Murfreesboro and made the drive from Murfreesboro this morning and come down 231 and on that winding road through
Oh yeah,
from Bedford County and Lincoln County.
scenic but winding. Yes, it's but hope you had a good trip, and we're certainly privileged to have you down here with us today. Since October the 1st, 2010, in Lincoln County and most other counties in the state of Tennessee, you now are required to have a building permit to build your home, and then you'll have an inspection person who will come out and inspect it in 3 or 4 different phases of a house. So we just want to tell all the folks and all the builders that are listening and how to go about getting all that done, and if there were any questions still.
Tommy, I appreciate y'all inviting me down, and I love to talk about these things. I travel across the state and to different agencies and different legislative bodies and mayors and councils and stuff to try to sell the program. Back in 2009, the state legislature passed the Tennessee Clean Energy Act of 2009 and went into effect on October the 1st of 2010, which where a local jurisdiction can opt in the state program, and where we will come out and do the inspections of and permitting of single-family dwellings.
Yes.
And also, it allowed local governments, such as the City of Fayetteville, to have their own established building codes department, where they can do their own and kind of fall under the realm of the State Fire Marshal's office in this program as well.
Right. And this is to protect folks. This is not something new that just the government's added to have another fees to have to charge you. This is really a time that's come. In my 35 plus years of building, I've always realized there was a need for it, and even as a county commissioner back in the early 2000s, wanted to see those kind of things happen, and now they have evolved, and I'm glad they're here, and glad we got good folks like you that really aren't there to be the bad guy. You're there to be the good guy. You actually protect folks.
Exactly, and one of the main reasons this came into play was Tennessee is basically, we're in the top 2 or 3 as far as energy usage.
Right.
We're also we're number 2 in the nation when it comes to fire-related deaths, and 80% of all fire deaths occur in a residential home.
Wow.
This year alone, right now, at the State Fire Marshal's office, we track these things, and right now, as of yesterday, we've had 29 people in the state of Tennessee to lose their life in a fire. Last year, we had 85 people to die in a fires, and like I said, we're number 2 in the nation. And at the State Fire Marshal's office, we're doing everything we can to prevent these from happening. And there's 2 ways you can actually prevent and help lower that rate is through good code enforcement to make the homes and the buildings safer, and also through public education to teach people what to do in case of a fire, like have special meeting places, stop, drop, and roll if your clothes catch on fire, to have a plan of action whenever a fire does occur, where to go, what to do, and how to get out of that house.
Right. I've always wondered, and for years I had a smoke detector, or what do you call the thing you turn on to spray?
A fire extinguisher.
Fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
I had one of those, and then it finally just died because you never used it. But that would be still a good thing for every homeowner to have, and so easy to get at just a local department store. I mean, is that one of the things that you encourage people to have?
Oh yeah, you can buy a fire extinguisher of the plastic head. They're disposable, and once you use it, you throw it away, or if it leaks down, you throw it away. Or you can go buy one with a metal head, and those can be recharged once they're used, or they leak down. They can be recharged by a licensed fire extinguisher company.
Well, that's good, and it's so sad that we've already lost 20-something people this year and 85 people last year. I mean, I didn't realize that. And if you don't catch that flick on the TRN News, which we do, or any kind of local news, you just aren't aware of it, and you always take it while we're speaking on that it's just somebody was burning wood in the fireplace and the ashes got out. I never think about it being due to something that codes enforcement could have helped, but it's
What it does, the code enforcement, and to talk about one of those 29 were here locally in Lincoln County a couple of months ago.
really
A little 2-year-old young lady lost her life, and I've been down here 2 or 3 times working on that situation. But on a residential home, what they do through code enforcement, it makes the home safer, makes it structurally sound, and what a lot of people don't realize is the energy efficiency. If a home being built in today's codes, they can actually save on energy bills
Right.
$50 a month.
right.
$50 a month just on energy bills.
That adds up real quick.
The a permit to be a conservative amount permit on a residential home that's roughly probably say a 1,500 square foot home, the permit on a 30-year mortgage is going to cost about 65 cents a month.
Right.
And to make sure that that home is being built safely and constructed and operational, that's very, very low cost. And it's actually making sure that contractor is doing what they're supposed to be doing to be able to, because
Right.
your banks, your insurance agencies, they want these houses to be structurally sound and where they'll last at least a 30-year mortgage or even further.
Right. So and that's what the codes enforcement does, folks. And to tie back here to building, that's what this is all about. You will come in if you're going to build a new house. You'll come into the county courthouse and let Miss Phyllis and them in the county clerk's office will give you a building inspection. You'll pay for it there. And like you said, it's very money well spent, and then over the life of your house, it won't end up being a lot of money. I think on the house I'm building up there now, it was $650, but it's entailing a stamped concrete floor, which means it's an extra one extra inspection by Mr. Bauer, and we'll talk about Mr. Bauer in just a minute. But so is that the average house is probably going to be in the $400 range as far as your cost for getting your building inspection done. But a building inspector will come out when you do your footing. If you do a slab, if it's monolithic, they'll do it all at one time and take care of it. If it's just normal building with a wood floor, then he'll come out and inspect the framing part. Then he'll inspect for the first time in Lincoln County the plumbing, and which is a really, really good thing that the plumbing will be inspected now. The electrical is already inspected in the state of Tennessee, and we have a fine inspector here, Mr. Jimmy Irvin. And then let's see, I guess at the end there's also an inspection, because then that's where he'll inspect to make sure it's insulated well and that everything is done to code. And this is all for the provision of the general public here. For if you're building a house, you want it done right, and now there'll be somebody representing you that'll make sure it's done right.
And also, a homeowner can actually build a house once every 2 years and be their own contractor.
Right.
So a homeowner can still do their own.
Good.
Or they can go the route as far as having a licensed contractor. Anything over $25,000, it's required that they have to be a licensed contractor.
Yes, sir.
To do any work over $25,000.
And we encourage all the builders here to make sure you are a licensed contractor. It's not that hard to do, and make sure you get a line of credit and everything at the bank just as much as you can get to make sure your license will be enough to handle the amount of building that you want to do and the size buildings that you would want to do. The Mr. Bryant Bauer is our local inspector. He's from Lewisburg, and I just fallen in love with Mr. Bryant. He is such a good guy. Does it just like Mr. Jimmy Irvin does electrical. Very stern, and I don't mean to say that. We've only met one time, but doing it for your own good, telling you what you need to do and get it done right, and mostly talking to your contractor, I guess, that is there, and of what's required and what the codes are. And we're just tickled to death to have him down here, and that's who you'll call each time that you're ready, or your builder will call each time you're ready for an inspection. But let's talk about 2 or 3. We only have about 7 or 8 more minutes, I think, Kate, and 10 more minutes to talk about some of the things that. Give me a little quick synopsis of how you got your start.
Actually, I retired. I was the assistant fire chief for the Murfreesboro Fire Department. I worked for the fire department there for 28 years. 17 of those years, I was the chief of operations. I was a fire inspector through about 7 years of that. Started out as a firefighter. I retired, and this opportunity came about I think about last April. I started to work in May. Actually, this coming Saturday, I'll be with the state for a year.
Yeah.
And with my background in codes and background in fire, I feel like I'm able to represent the citizens out there and do them a good job. And matter of fact,
Yes.
in code enforcement, you never know what life you've saved, and I feel that I have a passion to save people's lives, and I have a passion to do what's right, and that's kind of my background. I'm also a county commissioner in Rutherford County. I've been there for 20 years. I'm chairman of the Public Safety Committee.
Yes, sir.
In Rutherford County, and I've enjoyed that public service as well.
I think our firefighters go to Unionville describe that, because they told me you were a part of that, or at least I'd heard.
Well, the fire academy over in Bedford County in Deason is part of the state fire marshal's office as well.
Yeah, that's great. Well, again, we're talking about building permits here today, folks, and keeping you safe along with that, but telling everybody that might be wanting to build a new building. Now, this is not for remodels.
No, it's not for remodels. It is for additions over 30 square feet or more. You would be required to get a permit as well. And if someone does an addition, they're not going to be required to bring the rest of the house up to code. Just what the addition, the new part is going to be, would have to be brought to code.
Right.
So if someone has a home right now, say a 1,500 square foot home, and they want to add another 300, 400, 500 square foot to the home, only the new part will have to be brought up to code.
Okay. A couple of questions asked of me this morning. Will barns and outdoor buildings be a part of this?
No, it's just single family residential construction.
And then I was also reading a couple of years ago here, we had a thing about fire systems. I can't even think of what I'm trying to tell you, where sprinkler systems inside homes. And didn't go over real well, even though it's got a great purpose and a good thing. But that's only required now if it's a 3-family or more, like condos or something.
If it's residential sprinklers, they do save lives. The state does not mandate that a house be sprinkled. But in our program, if a townhouse is 4 units or more, it's required to be sprinkled.
Yeah.
And what that does, the townhouses are all combined. They're right beside each other.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get a bunch of those in a line, if one catches on fire, the other will catch on fire. It will just move down the line there. But it is that is required to be sprinkled on a townhouse 4 units or more.
And one of the questions I was asked this morning was a pull-down stairway, which just about everyone has in their house now. Is that required to be fire rated?
If it's in the garage area, it's required to be fire rated, because a lot of times fires happen in garages, and the separation between the garage and inside the structure has got to be fire rated. So if the pull down stairs is in the garage and in the ceiling, it has to be rated. If it's inside the home, like in the hallway or whatever, it doesn't have to be fire rated.
So that's a good thing, and for everybody to know. And again, if your garage is tied onto your house, you'll need the fire rated sheetrock around the perimeter of the inside of the garage, at least combined to where it's adjacent to the next room of the house. So those are another safety issues, but those little bitty things right there could save you the time necessary till the fire department could get there, or till you could get the garden hose out and get put out. But because your vehicle's parked, that's just amazing that we've went all this years with your vehicle parked right in, 2 doors over from your bedroom, and with an engine that could still hot that just came in, anything could happen. So I'm sure a lot of fires have happened that way.
And through my career in the fire service, I've seen that happen quite a bit.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of times people will be in bed asleep, and they'll be in the middle of the night, and they never know that the house is on fire until it's too late. One thing I want to also throw out here is, you know, the state fire marshal's office is all about saving lives, and there's a lot of people out there that do not have smoke detectors in their homes. If they'll call my office at 615-741-7170, if they don't have a smoke detector in their home, we will make sure that they get one.
Wow, great.
We've applied for grants out here through the federal grants, and we've got smoke detectors that we want to put up in people's because, you know, that early warning device is going to help save people's life.
Absolutely, folks. Get you a pen and paper, and we'll give that phone number again right before we sign off here in just about 4 minutes. But any other frequently asked questions that you get so far as residential and the new building codes and everything? And how would folks find out what the building code is if they want to investigate? Is there online site that they can go to?
Yeah, they can go to the state fire marshal's office website, and there's a I've got it right here. I don't know it off the top of my head, but it's,
Well, that's true. And while he's
it's
looking,
actually homebuilding.tn.gov.
homebuilding.tn.gov, and you can find those things, and you can get Mr. Gary's number here and call at the Inspection Services office up there in Nashville when we give that out again, and they'll be glad to pass you on to that website if you didn't get to catch it. But that is homebuilding.tn.gov. Well, I just tickled to death to myself as a builder that we have inspections now, and it is a little more money that you have to invest into building a new home, but it's all there. That's what we're trying to get across this morning for your own protection, and it'll actually help make your house a safer house.
One thing that this program does, it does not cost the county government a dime. Your local tax dollars here do not go towards this program.
No.
It's a fee-based program where if the consumer out here, once they purchase that permit, they pay the inspector, that pays the inspector to go out here and do the inspections. The county government here actually retains $15 per permit by being an issue agent here at the clerk's office.
Right.
And so it's a revenue generator, you know, for that person actually doing the permits, that the county government can get that, you know. So, but really, in the end result, the inspector is the one that's getting probably 90% of the money
Right.
to do the inspections.
So it's just a pay as you go system here. It's not costing any kind of county money.
In the state, we're not making money on it whatsoever.
Right. And so it's a good service, folks, and we hope that you'll all be encouraged to do that. Again, Mr. Gary's number up in Nashville is 615-741-7170, and they'll be glad to help you up there. Very nice men and women that work up there in that Davy Crockett building. I love the Davy Crockett and the Andrew Jackson buildings right up there in Nashville, and that we named them after our some of our great people. I mean, Davy Crockett building, that's pretty neat. Everything in Murfreesboro is going good this morning. You got spring fling going on?
It's going good. A lot of traffic, a lot of people across the states in Murfreesboro at this time, and it brings a lot of tax revenue in there where people can come in, spend their money, and go back home. We don't have to educate their kids.
Oh, it's a good thing. And from going to 4 spring flings, while Nettie, when my daughter was doing track and field, we're just glad it's in Murfreesboro and it was in Chattanooga, and then the last 2 years in Memphis. And so I think it's really great for Murfreesboro to have that here in the middle of the state. We sure do appreciate it, and we've only covered just a short amount of the thing, but the State Fire Marshal's Office is more than willing to help you folks, and they're here, and this is all about building codes this morning and getting your house, if you're going to build a new house, having it inspected. And you can check with Miss Phyllis's office up at the county clerk at 433-2454. Ask them for more information, or call Mr. Gary Farley himself. He's man, this guy is so down to earth. He'll be glad to talk to you at 615-741-7170. And if you're going to be building, you can go online at homebuilding.tn.gov and find out more information about the new codes and what's required. But we hope all you guys have a safer house because of this, and a better built house. I'm glad that this makes us contractors sort of keep ourselves to the fire and do a good job everywhere. And not that we didn't do already, but that we do everything up to code.
And the end result is protecting that citizen out there, whether it be through fire, whether it be through making sure the house is going to be operational and not costing them more money in the long run, and making it energy efficiency. That's the main thing, and our goal at the State Fire Marshal's office is providing those services and providing the best customer service that we can possibly provide. That's the goal of the governor on all the way down to the lowest employee, ranking employee in the state of Tennessee, customer service.
So, folks, if you're going to build a house, you want to be safe and you want to be energy efficient. Well, Mr. Bryant Bauer, our codes director, this person here, will be coming to your house and making sure of those things. And we appreciate him and appreciate Mr. Gary and all the folks up there at the state level that do such a good job. And we appreciate being with you today on the Breakfast Club and Newsmakers, and hope you have a great day. Mr. Gary Farley, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Glad to be here.